What's up, everybody? Got a fun story coming at you. Rare good news, but the reason I don't worry about the Trump regime, administration, whatever you want to call it, taking full power, full control. First of all, they're not smart enough, and two, we still have co-equal branches of government in this country, whether people want to accept that or not. Congress is hanging by a thread, and Democrats will take that next year, and we still have a judicial system. The thing about, like, how are you gonna do fascism? That's what confuses me. How you gonna do fascism? You don't touch the courts at all. Like, they're just gonna rule against you in so many instances. Like, they think they can just openly defy the courts. We haven't seen that yet on any type of real scale. Like, for most, I've looked at it. Most of the rulings they've complied, but so that's where the confusion is. They acted really fast in the first 7 months of this or whatever to institute their dumbed down fascism, but we ain't gonna fuck with the courts. And how do you do that? What would that look like? Threatening judges, locking them up? I can't see that happening. Anyways, a federal judge in Manhattan warned Wednesday that I just don't think they have the balls to go all the way like the Nazis did, or any other fucking fascist regime. Stalin, whatever he was a fascist too. Whatever you want to look at in recent history, this doesn't feel like that. People will go around, use this alarmist language. Oh, we're already in fascism. Bullshit. How are people still voting then all across this country? How are Democrats winning literally all the special elections? It doesn't feel like, and I can still speak my mind freely. And I'm not white. I'm a fucking black man in this country. This is racial fascism. When am I going to pay the price for speaking my mind? Anyways, this ain't fascism. It's just America. It just feels like it always has. Just kind of dumbed down. A federal judge in Manhattan warned Wednesday the Justice Department officials could face sanctions if they continue making public comments about the prosecution of Luigi Mangione, who was charged in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Manure. U.S. District Judge Margaret M. Garnett issued, man, these people have the waspiest names. Margaret M. Garnett. What's the M stand for? Marigold? I kind of want to know. Nah, I'm sure I ain't getting that. I'm a name nerd. I'm just curious. Margaret M. Garnett issued an order suggesting that statements by government officials about Mangione potentially facing the death penalty may have violated a local rule designed to limit publicity and ensure a fair trial. This dude ain't gonna get no fair trial. Man, they have slandered him, smeared him. Man, they did a little perp walk with that was crazy. Like, what? You're prejudicing this guy so hard. And I just don't see how he could even get a fair trial in this country at this point. Might have to just drop all the charges. Defense attorneys for Mangione had asked Garnett to dismiss his federal charges and to remove the death penalty as a sentencing option, arguing that comments by senior officials poisoned the case. It did poison the case. You're crazy. Like, this dude is more popular than Trump. Like, you could go around and say all this crazy shit, thinking there's going to be no backlash. People actually like this guy. Whether you agree with what he did or not, he's actually pretty popular with the youth. And Mangione, who is, I just don't think these older people understand what's coming for them. Like, they were not like you. Like, younger people these days are not like the baby boomers or whatever, or the silent generation, or even Gen X when they were younger. Like, we don't give a shit. Like, there's no empathy for like CEOs or politicians or any of that shit at all. We can flip it like a switch. We do not care. As a matter of fact, some of us are happy about what happened to Brian Thompson. We don't give a shit. We like Luigi. Mangione, who has pleaded not guilty to state and federal charges, is accused of fatally shooting Thompson on December 4th outside a Manhattan hotel, where the healthcare executive was arriving for his company's annual investor conference. Man, I'm telling you, our generation, Gen Z, Gen Y, which is me, millennials, and Gen Alpha, we're going to be the most radical generations that have ever existed in this country. We do not give a shit. We've been raised in such a violent environment, like an unjust environment, and you're going to pay the price for that. You're going to pay an ultimate price for raising us in this type of environment. You think we're not just going to be a product of it? Why the fuck would we care about any of these people? When all CEOs have done our entire life is fuck us over. We're children of the fucking Great Recession. Why would we care about any of these people? In the federal case, Mangione is charged with murder through the use of a firearm, stalking, and gun offenses. The firearm charges carries the possibility of capital punishment. Just go back and look at the polls about how young people feel about Luigi Mangione. We have more positive sentiment towards a murderer than a CEO. Yes, ain't gonna end well for you, old people. Party's over, Grandpa. Last week, a judge dismissed terrorism charges against Mangione in New York State's case over Thompson's killing, but kept the state second-degree murder charges against the suspect. And he is a suspect. He allegedly did. We don't know if he did any of this. It could have been anybody. In written filings, Mangione's lawyers said Justice Department officials crossed the line when the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi declared before his April indictment that the death penalty was warranted for what she described as a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. Worst Attorney General, dumbest Attorney General. This is an absolute fucking stone-cold fool Pam Bondi is. You are a joke, bitch. At the same time, Bondi announced she was directing federal prosecutors in Manhattan to pursue capital punishment. And that dumb piece of shit went on all these shows the other day talking about there's a difference between free speech and hate speech. Actually, there's not. Actually, there's fucking not. Actually, hate speech is part of free speech in this country. Sorry to break it to you, you dumb piece of shit. Maybe look at the Constitution you claim to uphold. Clown. I can say just about anything. I sound like threats. These actions have violated. Like, I come on here being the most anti-Semitic, most anti-whatever person you could ever see, and nothing would happen to me. I might lose subscribers, but that's the thing. You can see, you can be an anti-Semite, you can be a racist. All that shit is allowed in the First Amendment, whether people like it or not. I didn't write it. It's probably best that we do have a completely open First Amendment than one that's restricted. It's already restricted. You can't send threats and shit. But I think the way it is now is the way it needs to be. Let people say what they want to say. Because when you try to restrict people's free expression, that's just going to turn a lot of them into renegades. It's going to become even more radical. You can't restrict a human being's right to freedom of free expression. That's a human right. Garnett, in order, said it appeared that at least two high-ranking Justice Department staff members may have violated the Southern District of New York's rule limiting pretrial publicity. She directed the department to explain how the apparent violations occurred and what measures are being taken to prevent a recurrence. Yeah, I'm sure they'll get right on that. I'm sure they're taking it really seriously. But I hope they don't take it seriously. I hope they keep prejudicing this man, acting crazy, saying all this shit, because then we get the charges dropped. Then he could just run for president. I'd vote for Luigi Mangione. Future violations may result in sanctions, and I'm sure I'm not alone, which could include personal financial penalties, contempt of court filings, or relief specific to the prosecution of this matter. The Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Associated Press. People are real mad right now because I'm celebrating a murderer. What are you going to do about it? That's my right under the First Amendment to free expression. I like Luigi Mangione. I think he did a public service, and shit happens. You know, when you fuck people over, like we live like that, like Brian Thompson making all these millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars a year over denying people health care, of course, all it would take is just one person to come for you to decide, I don't like that. I've had enough, and I'm going to do something about it. I got this 3D printer right here, and I'm going to take care of him. And that's what Luigi did. And I commend it. That took guts. He knew he could lose the rest of his life to fuck a prison sentence. He did it anyways. Most of you don't have the balls to do anything. And you just talk a lot. It is not the first time a Manhattan federal judge has rebuked prosecutors for public statements. In 2015, Judge Valerie Caproni sharply criticized then U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara, I know who that is, for a press campaign surrounding his corruption case against former New York Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver. Caproni said that Bharara came so close to the edge of the rules governing his own conduct that Silver had a legitimate claim that the publicity was prejudicial. And I don't know that case specifically, but Preet Bharara does like to talk a lot. He's a very visible, very, just out there former attorney, district attorney. I think it's a podcast now. Most like DAs when they get fired or relieved just don't start a podcast. But he's one of those people, he likes the publicity. Like you don't see Maureen Comey starting a podcast. Silver was eventually convicted, sentenced to more than 6 years in prison, and died in federal custody. That's great. Garnett's warning now places the high-profile Mangione case under added scrutiny, with the government's handling of public messaging potentially shaping how the death penalty prosecution proceeds. All right, there you go. So they've already dropped the terrorism charges, and now the death penalty is in question. We're just whittling it on down. His case was supposed to start in like April. Obviously, that didn't happen. So we just keep delaying. He's got amazing attorneys. Just keep on whittling this bad boy down till there's no charges left, and then we can really celebrate.